This is week 2 of the Ranch of Rivershine No Competitions Challenge. In this challenge, I cannot compete at all to make money. I must make money solely through selling horses, completing quests, and selling resources that I find. Ranch of Rivershine has this nifty little feature where you can set the game to story mode, and you don't have to complete any competitions in order to progress the story in the game. Anytime a competition quest is automatically completed, I spend the money earned on it on useless items like carrots, and in doing so, I greatly restrict the money we have available at a given time. Here is what happened week 2 of spring, year 1 in this Ranch of Rivershine challenge. Day 8, I opened the door to receive 2 quests. One was the Hidden Chests quest, which I already knew about, and then the next quest was the Forest Path quest, meaning today was the day I'd get to open the forest route. I took care of Ocean and Clover and got to work. I talked to both Day and George and got the quests finished. I purchased the forest trail from Jai. After opening the forest trail, I excitedly ran over there and immediately began looking for tack chests, as well as picking up any of the foraging items that I could find. I also used this as a training opportunity for Clover, and worked on her skills while I was here. After Clover was just about out of energy, I went back to the barn and got on Ocean. Ocean has the forager trait, which means she can pick up double of any forageable item. So for example, if we pick up 1 hay, we actually get 2 hay if we're riding her. I spent the rest of the day foraging with Ocean and went home eventually, and that concluded day 8. Louie! OMG. Guys, look at the Louies! Louie, is this your family? Day 9, I went right to the barn and took care of Ocean and Clover at the start of the day. I gave Ocean an updated outfit today. I managed to find this pink saddle blanket and I thought it was so cute, so I gave that to her. I was most excited today for the stable upgrade quest because we could finally own up to 4 horses at once this quest was completed. Like clockwork, I talked to Madeline and completed a competition quest and immediately went and spent all that money on carrots. I then ran to the auction house real quick and sold Clover. Her training was finally completed. Clover was a nice horse, but definitely not one I was really gonna miss. We bought Clover for $4,600 and got $5,946 for her, which honestly really was not as much money as I would have hoped to get back. Guys, Louie's family is in the game. Can you believe it? After playing with Louie's ancestors, I proceeded to run over to Liam's carpentry workshop, and I paid the small fee of $5,000 to upgrade our barn into a classic stable. This was great because it meant we could finally own up to 4 horses, which, although it would be time-consuming training 4 horses a day, it's a hell of a lot better than having only 2 stalls and having to sell 1 horse right after the other. And although I hastily went to the auction house and looked through tons of horses, I actually didn't buy a horse on this day. I don't know what it was, but the horses at the auction house just... I'm gonna be honest, I'm kind of a cheapskate. I'm developing cheapskate habits in this challenge, and as a result, I'm just very picky about the horses that I take from the auction house at this point. Because obviously, I want to make, like, maybe $2,000 or so from each horse I bring back, and some of the horses we've sold so far have been kind of disappointing in terms of the yield after sale. So despite being kind of disappointed with today's auction selection, I did end up going home and went to bed with a dream to get a better horse the next day. Like, what is this? What is this outfit? Somebody teach this man how to dress. I started the day with a quest to learn about horse manure and grain. I also spent some time this morning looking for forageables. After picking up forageables in the field, I ended up going to the barn, taking care of Ocean, and heading right over to the auction house to get started on finding our next horse. Naturally, I got a little bit distracted on the way there and picked up some more items. River told me about different types of grain and how they benefit different types of training, and then I for real decided to go to the auction house. The first mare we saw I actually ended up bidding on, but for some reason I was extremely stingy about this horse. As I said in the previous day, I've kind of gotten more particular about the horses I end up buying. I did eventually find one that I liked though. Everything is expensive. $4,000. He's got some decent stats, so actually we'll go for it and see. Oh, we won. Okay, cool. I decided that one wasn't enough for me, so I went back and bought a second one, and I did find this mare that I really liked, although, well, you'll see what happens. Please. Yes! Oh my god, we have $12. We have $12! After nearly confronting bankruptcy, I went and talked to Aisha about growing crops, and I went back home and spent some time training up Ocean some more. I did eventually plant those crops, but I forgot to record it, but I swear I did it. After training Ocean for a bit, I hopped on over to Acorn's stall, gave him some food, and got his outfit set up, and hopped on him, went to the pine forest, and did a little bit of training and also some foraging in that area. I went home and got Venus set up with her outfit and spent an insanely long period of time just sprinting in circles, and ultimately that concluded day 10. But what if we keep Ocean and we get a Sabito stallion when we unlock the wild horse pastures, and we pair her up with a Sabino stallion? Would that be crazy? Is that a crazy thought? I woke up to the exciting news that the fertility pasture upgrade was now available. This was necessary if we wanted to get any foals, and foals are kind of a passive income source in this game, depending how you look at it. In the long term, it's unrealistic for us to be training 3 to 4 horses every single day because it is quite a time-consuming task. Mares are pregnant for a week, and it takes another week for the foal to grow up to a young adult. Once they're a young adult, they can be properly trained and sold, or they can be trained and stay in your barn permanently. Because of this, foals are kind of a relatively low maintenance and low intensive way of making a little bit of extra money, and the money will only go up as we breed better and better stat horses. I spent most of that morning training up Acorn, and eventually I hopped onto Venus. Acorn was fully trained by the end of the training session, and I was able to sell him not even 2 days after buying him. Kinda crazy. We bought Acorn for $4,050 and got $5,378 back. I wasn't really thrilled with the amount we got back, but you know what? $1,300 is $1,300. After selling Acorn, I immediately headed over to the pine forest where Liam was in order to get to work on that fertility pasture. After purchasing it for the cheap price of $4,500, I headed back, hopped on Ocean, and ran over to the auction house once again to get another horse. I don't know why I didn't look at horses when I sold Acorn, but you know, sometimes you just gotta go back and make a decision at a different time. I actually ended up looking at this horse for quite a long time and really weighed if this horse was worth it or not, but I did end up buying him. After the auction, I went home, hopped on the new horse, and planted some oat seeds. I spent some time running around with him out in the middle of nowhere, and I really contemplated what I wanted to do about the Ocean situation. I ultimately decided that I was going to keep Ocean for now and maybe try and have her be the first mare we bred and just see what happens before making a concrete decision on selling her or not. And ultimately that's how I concluded day 11. Okay guys, so today on Pink-Haired Girl Ranch of Rivershine, day 12 was pretty straightforward. I got a note that Madeline wanted to explain how to breed foals to me, and also Aisha wanted me to show her some carrots, so I actually spent the morning harvesting carrots and checking on my crops. Y'all, I'm so sorry, this voiceover was recorded when I had my retainer in, and y'all, this is a struggle. Anyways, took care of the horses as per usual, and I went out on a little harvesting journey as I made my way over to Lupine Meadow to talk to Aisha. Naturally, she was extremely impressed with my produce, and I went hunting for more items. I spy with my little eye some produce I can rip from the earth and sell for a very hefty price. I also used this foraging time as a time to train our horse, Oath. Eventually, I talked to Madeline too about the foals thing. That was really easy. At one point, I ended up making my way back to the barn and swapped over to Venus, and I did a little bit of training with her in the pine forest area and foraged for some items as per usual, and that concluded my actions for day 12. This is disgusting. I just walk in here every day and immediately step in 15 pieces of horse crap. Day 13 was an exciting day because we finally got the quest to unlock the wild horse corrals. Rather, the quest to pay Jai to build the wild horse corrals. I headed over to Jai's house on Venus, and I foraged a little bit on the way over there. Bro just stands out here. I hate the way they turn around to look at you. I ended up only being able to buy the Lupine Meadow Corral at first, but I would come back later when I had a little bit more money to purchase the Forest Corral as well. Venus was finished in her training at this point, so I did sell her on this day. I used the money I got from her to purchase the Forest Corral. Venus ended up selling for almost $2,500 more than we got her, which was really nice because I don't think we've had a horse sell for this much yet, but maybe I'm wrong. As per usual, I jumped at the opportunity to look for a new horse to take on, and a lot of the ones that were going through at first weren't really suiting my fancy, so it did take me a minute to settle on one. Downtrodden on their luck horses. This horse is actually okay. Champion Olive. Bro is named Champion Olive. Champion Olive was the horse I ended up going with. I bid on him a couple of times and I did manage to snatch him up. I went home to set up our new horse with a cute outfit. I feel kind of bad. I feel like it's evil work for me putting a bow in a stallion's mane. I don't know why. I'm like, bro is gonna be so mad.
Bro is a horse and could not care less.
I ended up training him for a bit, and that concluded day 13. Guys, we're broke. We have $3,000. There's no wild horses today. Heaven looked down upon me and frowned. As the previous clip suggests, I was very upset to find out that there were no wild horses that spawned on this day. Now, I haven't yet really explained wild horses and why they are going to be very beneficial to this challenge, but the number one reason is that these horses are completely free to get, and they come with 100% of their training potential value. Each map comes with a unique pattern that can also be found on the horses that are caught on said map. Horses with higher training values and different coats that are more rare often go for a higher price in the auction house, which is going to be very beneficial to us when we sell these horses once they're fully trained. Oh, sorry for breaking and entering.
That's kind of expensive, guys. I don't know.
I did eventually get over the price tag and did cough up the money, but it definitely took me a minute. I also accepted the idea that we wouldn't unlock the Crystal Lake Corral for at least a couple days. After questioning my financial choices, I trained Oath for a little bit. After that, I took Olive out to the pine forest to look for resources and also use this as some training time. After a good bit of training and foraging time, I did come home. Although day 14 was pretty basic and a bit financially draining, I ended the day being very hopeful and optimistic that the next day we would find some wild horses.